Using the hashtag moonphase, TikTokers are comparing the moon on the day they were born to that of their loved one. If they fit with each other, they were meant to be. If not, well, it's clearly time to break up. But here in Aotearoa, people have been using the moon as their guide since ages ago. It's called Maramataka, the Maori lunar calendar.
It was the most commonly used way of telling time right across Europe, into Africa, into the Americas, Asia, and particularly here in the Pacific. Traditionally, it was connected to planting, to hunting, to fishing, to travel, to all sorts of activities. The basic difference is between when you follow a solar calendar, Gregorian calendar, we dictate to the world when we're ready to do something. When you follow a lunar calendar system, it's the environment that dictates you when it's ready, and you have to sink into its rhythms.
The Maramataka also predicts how much energy we'll have, which is why Far North Mayor Moko Tupania uses it to set the council schedule.
I think it's very, very clever. There are times of high productivity and activity and times that are less productive. It's just letting you know that today might be a little bit harder. I really need to focus more. Other times things just seem to be more buoyant. There's a lot more energy around and people are more creative in saying that. I think it's a real mistake to blame the moon for how you're feeling at times, you know. You might be like in a bad mood and say, what's the lunar phase? You know, less so the lunar phase and the fact that you drank a bottle of Coke at 10 o'clock at night and didn't get to sleep early.
So it can tell us about our mood, but can the Maramataka help us find our soulmate?
There is empirical science that sits at the base of this calendar system. But our ways of knowing and our mātauranga Māori doesn't separate that empirical science with also our cultural beliefs and even our spirituality. For me, though, I'm always a little bit cautious of the notion of it becoming part of a more New Age spiritual movement and less about the natural rhythms of our natural world.
And there's never been a better time to understand our natural world than now.
The Gregorian system of time allows us to cut ourselves off from the environment and behave and act like what we're doing has no connection to or impact upon the environment. When you're sinking into this lunar, stellar, solar, environmental calendar system of time, it forces you to understand that we're part of the environment and to take a little bit of responsibility at times for what's happening. I think that that's its true power.
Well, look, I mean, I'm not a huge astrology gal, but in terms of finding love, I'm not going to knock it because based on my experience, the moon's got to be a better option than Hinge.
Yeah.
Not a lot of success there.
I was gonna make fun of people who match up the moons to find their soulmate, but I actually just did it with me and Victoria, and it turns out I'm a waning crescent and she's a waxing gibbous, which means we are a perfect match.
I'm a waxing gibbous. I'm a waxing gibbous. We're a perfect match.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Jesse's a perfect match with everyone.
I guess that's the lesson.
Look, I have to say, whatever you are using the moon for, it's been a great joy of mine to start to think about what the moon is doing a lot more over the last few years. I follow Rangi's work. I follow a few people who are sharing their knowledge of the Maramataka on Instagram. If you're wondering what phase we are in at the moment, kore kore, which according to one of my favourites, Maramataka in action, means it's a good time to eat chocolate.